welcome to our podcast, Tubes.
Yeah, I think the people running the VAR are conning the referees as well. The whole thing's just so bizarre.
I would take an 8-year No Tippy Tappy Football contract right now.
But that'll be
You want an award? Make it a 10-year contract.
Yeah, good point, yes.
I would love him at Chelsea.
January?
I'd love him at Chelsea in January, yeah. Please.
yeah.
Conte might as well have just said,
Yeah, well,
sack me.
Who wins the golf match, Sam or Tubes?
Sam.
Tubes.
And this is why we need to make that happen. Welcome everybody to another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by William Hill. And he's back! He's back! I'm so happy to see you. How are you,
And
Sam?
you, Nat? I'm all right now. Thank you very much. I'm doing okay. Yes, yeah, doing okay.
I was really worried. I thought all of a sudden I was going to see you outside Old Trafford walking in and I was going to go, the podcast is over.
Well, I've seen the meme, haven't we? I showed you this morning. Like, I mean, I don't know why people go to such lengths and send them. But I've got the biggest moustache and beard and a pair of glasses and a big black wig on, like, I mean, and the old names come out again, Aladicio, like, I mean, due at Old Trafford. But, I mean, it's great fun, isn't it? You know what I mean? I think that while I was managing, I used to drop them in for a bit of a laugh on my presentations, you know, when we were...
The memes?
Yeah. There's one or two, like, me great big fat belly dancing, like, I mean, and when the lads coming in before you're doing a bit of tactical work, you know, just throw it up for a bit of fun, you know what I mean, and get them laughing, like, I mean. So I use them quite well here and there, like, I mean, just to get a bit of light-hearted stuff. You can be too serious sometimes, you know what I mean. So at the right time, just throw it in and then get serious about what we're doing with the opposition. But yeah, going to be outside Old Trafford, like, I mean. But yeah, it's good fun.
I'm very happy to have you back. And talking about light-hearted, we've got a guest joining us today that has made us all laugh over the years. Would you like to introduce your guest?
Yeah, I mean, before that though, I've got to congratulate you on your award.
Thank you.
Northwest Sports Writers on Sunday, was it? So,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Well played,
Would you like to tell us what you was presented with on the night?
Northwest Football Broadcaster of the Season.
And how was your speech?
I didn't get to do one.
No speech.
Oh.
And do you know what?
Why not?
It was Dion Dublin as well, who's been on this podcast. I don't know if they ran out of time, but I didn't get to do a speech.
Oh.
You must be buzzing, though,
Yeah.
because that is a hell of an achievement. You should be so proud.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, I'm really, really made up because the Northwest is such a thriving area for football, obviously.
Absolutely.
And so it's, yes.
How did you
Thank
celebrate?
I didn't really, because I have a 6-year-old. So I went home. I didn't start. I got back about midnight, half 12. Was up at 6:45 with my 6-year-old.
Right.
Said, guess what? Mummy won. And I showed him the trophy. And he just looked at me like, not bothered
And
in
what?
the slightest. 45 minutes later, we're out in the rain taking him to school and, back down to earth.
Back
So
to
that's
life,
it.
back
Done.
to reality.
Done.
Oh, well.
Yes.
Well done, though.
But
Well
thank
done.
you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, the guest, I'm very pleased to see that I've watched him many, many times, and obviously he has this fantastic nickname, and it's welcome to our podcast, Tubes.
Yeah.
So we've been really looking forward to meeting you and listening to the fantastic stories that you're going to tell us on your journey. So
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much for coming.
I really appreciate your invite. Thanks for having me. Can't wait.
Should we call you Tubes or should we call you Peter?
Everyone calls me Tubes.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
I
of
didn't
course.
know you were called Peter until
Yeah.
he came in today.
I mean, they're both really poor names, aren't they? Peter or Tubes. So I'd go with Tubes because that's what I've been called since I was 15 when I joined Soccer AM.
You were 15 when you joined?
Yeah.
Wow, what were you
You
like?
left school early then, did you?
When I was doing sixth form, and I worked for free for 4 years on Soccer AM. So I go to sixth form, and every Saturday I go and make the teas and coffees at Soccer AM. And then I was one day away from
So
going.
you're telling me that Soccer AM had you for 4 years for free?
Yeah.
And never offered
I
you
was so good at making
any-
cups of tea, though. I absolutely
never offered you anything in terms of a
I never got paid
contract
for 4 years.
Not even expensive.
But it was an amazing experience.
Of course it was. I mean,
And it got me to where I
it
am
must have
today,
grounded
so-
you in what you do now then, eh? Give you the experience to be who you are now.
Absolutely. But I was like, because I love football.
Yeah.
Football was my passion, but I was never good enough to make it as a footballer. So to get given the opportunity to work within football on a show like Soccer AM was like the next best thing. And I absolutely loved it. So quite happily worked for free.
And you're very pleased this week, aren't you? Because Chelsea beat Tottenham.
Go on the Chelsea. Go on the Chelsea.
We're good to see it. A fantastic game it was. I mean,
It was unbelievable.
one of the best games this season, yeah?
I'd probably say the maddest game.
Maddest,
of the
yeah.
season. I mean, I didn't know. 14 minutes added on for the first half. 5 disallowed goals.
Yeah.
4-1.
I was sat there rooted to the telly, which hasn't been that often this season in the Premier League. I'm unfortunate, I'm having to say, but this was probably the most entertaining football match of the season by far. On the attacking football from both sides, the events that happened in the game, the amount of refereeing decisions that were right or wrong that everybody could debate, but ultimately in the end, the thrill of the end to end and the goals that got scored and the way the game turned, because in the early part, we all sat there at the edge of our seats thinking this is going to be really bad for Chelsea because they started so bad.
First 5 or 6
minutes.
I was there going,
oh,
we could
wow.
get battered.
Yeah.
We could get battered. But
so it just shows you what could happen in the space of, well, what was it now? 110 minutes, was it? 112 minutes?
I mean, it was
9 minutes.
It was like a feature-length film.
Yeah.
it had everything.
It did.
As a manager, what do you think of VAR, honestly?
It's outrageous, unfortunately. I mean, I was a great advocate of technology in my time, and all my years, technology was a massive part of my growing success in my career. Like you mean, by taking stats and algorithms and so on and so forth, and implement it into football. And obviously, the goal line technology was that good that we felt the natural progression to VAR was going to be a great asset. And I have to say, after three years, we are in the pit.
It's not worked, has it? It's just.
But
it's
I have to say, Tubes, it isn't VAR.
It's the people.
It's the people who are making the decisions with VAR, and I think that we've lost the referees have lost the capacity to stick to their instinct and make their decisions by what they see there and then, and are now not making that decision and saying, well, VAR will catch it up if I've not quite got it right. That's how it looks to me. And obviously from that point of view, it's this slow motion and getting the referee to go over and look at the screen, because some of the actions of the players with VAR are conning the referees.
Yeah.
They're looking at the incident and giving a penalty where they're diving. They're starting to go down before the tackle's even made, before there's any contact. And unfortunately, they're going over and only looking at the contact. They're not looking at the preempted actions of the players to try and get that foul or try and get that penalty. So we're actually getting too many of the imitations that we don't want, that we've been trying to cut out for years by diving or actually over exaggerating what's happening. And you can see, we as professionals talk about it all the time. You can see it every week going, well, that's not a penalty. Yeah. And the referee goes over and it's slowed down and you see the slightest of contact. But if you look at it, these players are starting to go over before the leg even comes out. But yet the referees are still going, penalty, and we're going, it's
just really mad though, isn't it? But I think you say getting conned, but I think the people running the VAR are conning the referees as well, because they're showing them the slow-mo straight away. Yeah. So as soon as you see that and go, oh, that's the sending off, or that's the penalty, they don't show you, in full motion. It's just the whole thing's just so bizarre.
You got the incident in the Chelsea Tottenham game. You got the 2-footer on Sterling.
Is that sending off?
They come round. I don't know whether they still do it now, but they came round every season and they put up what was changed.
Yeah.
And that was an absolute no-no. Whether they've changed that or not, I don't know. Whether they've changed the rules. They've changed the rules so much, whether they've downsized it a bit or not, I don't know. But at that time, you go 2-footed off the ground, losing control, whether you catch the player or whether you don't catch the player. And let's face it, in this occasion, Raheem Sterling was the luckiest man because he saw it coming and ducked his leg out the way. And that doesn't mean to say that it's not a straight red.
That's what I thought the rules were. I thought if you go in 2-footed,
it's got to be a straight red. we've got to pat Raheem Sterling on the back for not. It could be a leg breaker.
Yeah.
Could be a career finisher, and he's managed to avoid it. And then he still not get. I don't even think he got booked, did he?
So I didn't see the game because I was at that awards ceremony. So he didn't get.
He's come off the ground 2-footed straight into it. He's touched Raheem a little bit, but if he did make contact, that's breaking his legs.
Yeah.
And he didn't get sent off.
Yellow card.
Yes.
But that could happen next week, and that's a straight. That's what I don't understand. If I look at that and go, we've told all the clubs and all the managers like Big Sam that is a sending off.
Yeah.
That's a sending off.
I just need to say that if a ball is not touching the line physically, like that, if it's touching the line, it's in. If a ball is physically not touching the line, it's out for me.
Yeah.
The idea that a perspective from above and you can still see the edge of the ball is on the line. If you're looking at the perspective from above, it doesn't make any sense to me.
But that's never been changed, though.
It just needs to.
It's been,
but
Nat, it's been like that for. Yeah, but it has actually been like that forever and a day. That's why goal line technology has played a big part in whether the ball's over the line or not, because that's so precise.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
You can see if there's a gap between the white line and the outer edge of the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so when that bottom edge of the ball looked like it did when it was on the touchline, looked like it were way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look back at the other angle, you can see that slightly.
Oh, I hate
the
it.
ball's slightly on the line. So it's.
bizarre.
But I mean, after all that, when we talk about Newcastle Arsenal one, the push. I mean,
It's like
it's a
WWF
two-handed assault.
Way!
Really, it's a two-handed assault.
Did you see what they said? That it was stooping. That Gabriel was stooping to head the ball, and therefore he was already in.
Pushed.
Yeah, but so that's exactly what I was saying about when they're giving penalties then. Because they'd already started diving before there's any contact, but they're still allowing the penalty to go ahead.
Yeah.
So they're contradicting themselves when it comes to that. Anyway, after that, the game, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Not for Tottenham or Tottenham fans, but for the general public, and of course for Chelsea, and for particularly Pochettino. It was a big relief for him because he's finding the Chelsea job very, very, probably the biggest challenge of his career, I'd say. Yeah. And to try and get this wealth of talent to play as a team.
I think he's doing well, though. I really like what Poch is doing. I find it, as a Chelsea fan, so frustrating that we've spent all that money. You know,
We still have no goal scorer. That's your
exactly
trouble.
what I was going to say. I just don't get it. But I say who looks a proper player? Cole Palmer.
Palmer, yeah. Aye.
Wow.
I was surprised that Pep sold him personally. You know, such a young age and such a talent. I mean, they've even given the responsibility of penalties at Chelsea. That shows you. That shows you how confident the lad is. Like, I mean, and can only get better. But of course, he's probably looked at the situation and said, "It's going to be a while before I consider him for my team with what I've got, and we will cash in on what was 30, 40 million. Probably got a buyback clause, maybe, you know, just in case. But you know,
For that age.
it's not often they let somebody, I think, that good leave." And he appears to be that good.
Well, Pep knows his stuff, doesn't he? So
He
Pep
does.
wouldn't be going, "Oh no, he's not going to make he's not going to make the cut. Let him go." So I don't know what's happened there, but I'm so happy it has because he looks mega.
Or they maybe needed the money in for the financial regulations to do what he fancied doing. For, you know, they've got to play around today with the financial fair play stuff, haven't they? Like, I mean, you can't exceed those levels now because obviously Everton are in trouble at the minute by the sound of it, you know. But you know, the Premier League goes on and creates more and more headlines every week.
He's a right character, though. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him a few times, and he always comes up with a cracking line. Yeah. So tell us then, how did he just slot straight in? Like, how highly are you rating him?
Cole.
Yeah.
He joined. I think he was on the bench for a couple of games, and he came on, and straight away you go. I know I've seen him at City a few times, going, "Oh, he's a tidy player," but when he came on for Chelsea, I was like, he just he just fit in straight away, and I was like, he is class, and he was just like these little through balls. I was just like, he is a top quality. And each game he's got stronger and stronger and stronger. He's now our best player.
And I think when you thought of the talent that Chelsea had bought, it was more for the future.
Well, that's what I assumed.
It's not like down the right road, this lad's going to be, and all of a sudden he just jumped the head of the queue as some of the players that are more
100%.
experienced, cost more than
100%.
him, and he's like seems like he gets number one choice. It's the same with Conor Gallagher. I had Conor at West Brom on loan when I was there and had a real, experience to what a struggle was. You know, I couldn't say West Brom, when I got there, that we got a bit better, but we didn't manage to get enough points but he experienced, I think, a great experience that could make you better or he could knock you back a bit. And for him, it took him forward because then he went on loan to Crystal Palace, succeeded there. Now he's playing in Chelsea's first team. He's in his early 20s, you know, played for England. So I'm really, really pleased for him.
He's
that
such
one of
a
the
nice
homegrown
kid as well.
talent.
Yeah. I know Conor. Could you tell at West Brom that he was going to go?
I could tell he was good. He was really got he got the talent. Bit naive.
Yeah.
Bit erratic sometimes, which is in his youth. Like, I mean, can be the case. But certainly, he got ability. He got energy. I mean, physically top draw.
Yeah.
But now, talent-wise and vision-wise, you know, looking like he's got better and better with the experience he's had. So, you know, and to get in the England squad as well as early and as young as he is, you know, it shows that, I mean, you can, if you make it, you know, in your early 20s in the Premier League, you're something special.
Yeah.
You like him?
I love Conor, yeah.
Yeah.
He just does not stop running.
No.
You know, when Chelsea are struggling, which we have been this season, he's the one going around going bang, bang, and gets the Chelsea fans going.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone was like, oh, you know, is he good enough? Is he good enough? And he's stuck at it. And now all the Chelsea fans love him. And he's such a nice bloke as well.
Which always helps.
Absolutely.
In terms of Cole Palmer, do you think he's an outside pick for England? Do you think he's done enough or is that too soon?
I can't see why not. But I don't know whose place he takes at the moment.
It's the strongest part of England's team, isn't it? Like, I mean, you know, Bellingham and... Yeah.
I mean, Bellingham.
I mean...
is a sick man, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's off the scale good.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham. Do you think he could be one of the world's greats?
Yes. No, it was already proving that to be that. What's surprising is the goals.
Yeah.
It's the amount of goals. He's been released by Real Madrid on the front end, not the sitting end. Like, I mean, I think that has been proven to be
scary.
I know. I mean, to go at that young age into. I presume he's trying to learn Spanish as quick as he possibly can because that'll be very important for him, especially with the Real Madrid fans and the communication he needs to do. Like, I mean, but the experience he's gained in terms of going to Germany and now Spain, it's a shame he's not here.
Oh,
it's a big loss for this country and the Premier League that he isn't playing in this country in the Premier League, but. There is no bigger club than Real Madrid, is there?
You're talking about goal scoring there for Jude Bellingham. What about goal scoring for Chelsea? So Nicholas Jackson got the hat trick. It's been a tough start for him.
Yeah.
You've got obviously on the Spurs side of it, Richarlison, who's been out as well. So Ivan Toney, I'm thinking Chelsea, Spurs. Do you want him? Do you think he'll go to one of those clubs? Do you think, or what do you think in terms of Chelsea's goal scoring?
I want him, 100% want him. But I think Brentford are now in a position where they can go, all right, 120 million.
You think?
Yeah, and I think because everyone wants him. Arsenal want him. Tottenham want him. Chelsea want him. He's double decent, but is he worth 120 mil? I don't know.
Can I say this? Are they going to play to his strengths?
What do you think his strengths are?
Chelsea.
You've got to play off him.
Yeah, I think Chelsea.
You've got to change. You've got to change your style. You can't go to Tottenham or Chelsea or Arsenal and play like the way they play now. You're not getting it because they won't play off him. You go to Brentford and watch Brentford. They play off him. To
be fair, when Brozier plays for Chelsea, they play off him though.
Yeah.
But he hasn't played much, so I think he'd fit in well at Chelsea.
Because that's going to be a big change in the style, a big change in the way that Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal have to play.
Well, we need to score goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
We have so much of the ball. We create so many chances. We just can't put the ball in the net. I know Jackson's got a hat-trick, but with all due respect, that was against 9 men. Someone like Ivan Toney scores goals, and you put him in a better team, and no disrespect to Brentford, he's going to score more goals. So I would love him at Chelsea.
January?
I'd love him at Chelsea in January, yeah. Please.
Will he go somewhere in January, and where do you think he'll go, if so?
Only if, like Tube said, only if they hit his Brentford's valuation. I think Brentford would sell anybody if they hit the valuation that they put on him, which is obviously, from their point of view, would be slightly or inflated in terms of what they see he's worth. And I think if they've got a replacement or they've already got lined up, because Brentford are one of the good ones in recruitment terms. They already know down the line where the next players are coming from. So it wouldn't be, I don't think it'll be in Brentford's DNA that they sell somebody and don't already have a number of players to replace him, because that's what they've done over the last 10, 12 years.
I've no idea what players are worth these days. The numbers, like, for some players, it's just nuts.
But you add the contract onto, if it's Chelsea, it's an 8-year contract. That's going to be 120 million.
Unreal. I mean, I don't get.
So the 8-year
contract.
The 8-year
contract. Lovely.
Yeah.
I would take an 8-year No Tippy Tappy Football contract right now.
But that'll be.
You want an award? Make it a 10-year contract.
Good point. Yes.
So the contract might be worth more than the transfer fee.
100%.
Yeah.
So the whole package is 240 million.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nuts.
I think he goes Arsenal.
You think he goes Arsenal?
Yeah.
Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, all in for him. Spurs, obviously, having a great season by their standards. I am very much enjoying Ange. I like his post-match interviews. I'm calling it, I like Ange.
Absolute geezer.
You like him, yeah?
I like him.
You think he's a bit of breath of fresh air?
Yeah, I like him. I like the way he talks. I like the post-match, pre-match. I like everything about him. He's just a proper bloke. You know what I mean?
Football bloke.
Yeah.
He is that.
Bit old school.
He is much more than that. He's much more intelligent than that in terms of the way Tottenham play. What challenges is now is Tottenham's squad are not good enough to hold it. And now the injuries are kicking in. And he's got to replace some of the players that have done so well for him. That when the injuries kick in, it's a big test to any football team and any manager to continue where Tottenham have always failed in the end. Squads have never been big enough in strength and depth to hold on, and that eventually is held against the manager, and it's not the manager's fault. It's the Arsenal are just about getting there.
As in
4 years, as in terms the size of the squad and the players that are there to back up. They've got players now, nearly like Man City, where the one that steps in is as good as the one that's come out. And then you can see more rotation. So Tottenham, you'll see that some of the players are playing consistently every week because he knows that ones behind are not quite as good as the ones that are doing the job now. And then all of a sudden, suspensions and injuries kick in and you go,
That was mad, wasn't it? Only 4 players at the end of the game against Chelsea started the game. There's that many changes, that many injuries.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that. That is a real stat.
Yeah.
That is.
4 players
Wow.
ended the game that actually started the game. And so they could, I agree.
Game
but
back.
I love the way Ange plays football.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's fabulous.
Out from the back, little one-touch,
Brilliant.
two-touch. It's brilliant to watch.
And to do it without Harry Kane is something special.
I was surprised that they've
You know what I mean?
it's gone so well.
You know what it's like in this game. You sit there and you overachieve, and I think he's overachieving with the squad he's got.
Yeah.
I think he's getting more out of them than anybody's got, more than Jose did, more than Antonio Conte. And you're talking about what's labelled the world's best coaches. Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho are 2 of the world's best coaches, and he's grabbed hold of a squad without Harry Kane, without 30 goals, and has got them playing like he's got them to play. The results he's got now. Can you keep it up?
Well, James Maddison's out injured.
How
and
long
that
is
is a
he
massive.
out for? I haven't heard.
I don't know.
He's in my fantasy football team, and I'm worried now.
Yeah, but he had the same.
I'd have a little check for the weekend.
He had the same problems at Leicester, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you're buying a player, they didn't pay much for him, so it's worth the risk. And if you've got a player like Declan Rice, who's missed the 35 games and 40 games, then they're the ones you buy first.
I wish Chelsea did buy Declan Rice.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well, they should have done.
He's a Chelsea fan.
They should have bought it.
Is
They
he?
should have bought Declan before Casido,
Before anyone.
without a doubt.
Before Enzo Fernandez. Before anyone. Should have been Chelsea captain.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about Declan Rice,
Got it.
West Ham have struggled a bit. Is it fair to say West Ham have struggled a bit?
They started well, didn't they?
They started well. I mean, obviously, Moyes is my big mate, so let's face it, European trophy win got him out of jail in the league. Like, because he was getting some stick over the league position, like we all do when it's not the expectation that's expected of us. So that was a great out. West Ham won a trophy first time for a long time, which is brilliant. And he started the season really, really well. And but he's changed his style. Moyes is going with the ever-changing style or expectations of the Premier League, where he's trying to open up with the talent that he's got. He's got some real talent on the front line and in midfield. But now they're conceding too many goals. And those are the only ones who win the title. You're sick of me hearing this.
No, it's true.
The ones who get the most clean sheets.
Yeah.
And that will never, ever change, no matter what style of football you play.
Yeah.
And so Moyes needs to get back to continuing his in-possession style, but the lads have to do better out of possession because they're conceding too many goals now.
They've got some attacking
Lost 3-2. That wouldn't be Moyesy in the past. He gets 1-0 up. He gets 2-1 up. He should have got 3-1 up. They missed the biggest sitter against Brentford I'd ever seen. And that would have been 3-1.
Yeah.
Brentford, then he come back and win 3-2. So those changes in the game. But it's not like Moyes when he gets in front, he's always very, very difficult to beat. But at the moment, that's just conceding. Scored 2 away from home and don't get a point.
Yeah, they've got some attacking line, although it feels like Mikel Antonio's not in his greatest form this season, but Jared Bowen certainly is.
He's back again, isn't he?
Yeah. But then that makes me think, when we were talking about, like, I was saying I don't know about the prices of players these days. If Anthony is 80 million, if Bowen was sold, how much would he be right now? Like, I feel like Manchester United have ruined the valuation market.
It's just absolute balmy.
Unfortunately, you got to look at Manchester United and say, what about Mason Mount? There's 100 million. There's 100 million there, over 100 million.
Yeah.
For two players there who are struggling to get into Manchester United's team, or when playing, actually contributing enough to show they're actually worth that transfer fee, and that's as a coach, that's your biggest nightmare.
Mason
that's what's going to get you the sack.
You think
Mason should never have left Chelsea?
Why do you think he
But
did?
he wasn't getting in though, was he?
Well, he was playing.
Was he?
He was playing, but it was all contract talks. It was over contracts basically, and I don't think he actually wanted to leave. I don't think Chelsea actually wanted him to leave, but I think they were.
Well, they obviously haven't matched the money.
It's something like that,
Yeah, but they obviously haven't matched the money he knew all the other players were getting.
Yeah.
And he was thinking, as you do, he's thinking, well, here I am. I've been at Chelsea since I was 9, 10 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I've come through the ranks.
6, I think.
Elton through the
Really?
bad times. Yeah.
Young.
Elton through the bad times, got in the Champions League when they were struggling, when Frank first took over, which was, a great season considering they couldn't buy anybody.
Yeah.
And here I am playing for England, and here you are, you're offering me a contract that's millions less than all the players that have come in and basically failed.
Right, I want to talk about you now. So,
yes.
Yeah, I always like to know if our guests have crossed paths with Sam, and usually it's from a playing or a management point of view. But this time, have you ever managed Sam? Was he ever on Soccer AM when you were there? Had you met Sam before today?
Yes.
Okay.
I've interviewed Big Sam many a time.
Okay, brilliant.
One of my favourites. Always. The last time was it up at Leeds.
Leeds, yeah.
And it was just so welcoming. Robbie Keane, Carl Robinson.
Yeah.
I had breakfast
Top man, Robbie, yeah.
with all the boys, and it was so good to see him. But you've been on Soccer AM a few times.
I have, yeah.
I
was saying it tonight. I came on Soccer AM way back with Els Bells.
Yeah.
But I think that was the first time, and it was one of those near Christmas times. I think it was.
It was. I think it was a Christmas special.
Eston Blumenthal was on.
Yeah.
With Steve Graham with me.
Yeah.
So I was like in between these, like, so, and Eston Blumenthal made a Christmas bauble, and he said, "Have a bite of that," and it was liver patty.
Shaped as a bauble.
A bauble, the Christmas bauble, yeah.
Oh,
and I was like that.
Soccer
I like
AM.
liver patty, but I didn't believe him. That's why I had a bite. I said, "Nah, it's a Christmas bauble.
Yeah.
It's not a savoury thing." Like, I mean, so
What other show would have got Big Sam and Heston Blumenthal eating a pate bauble?
Well, that was the beauty of Soccer AM.
Yeah.
You know, it went on for 25 years, and it was a massive part of my life. But that was the beauty of it. You could have all sorts of people on.
Was it the new bosses decide to cut it then?
Sky as a organisation decided that was, time's up.
It must have been your figures then.
Bizarrely, it wasn't, because the viewing figures were very, very good.
Why do it then?
I don't know. Money.
That's pathetic.
I'm not entirely
I had the same
sure.
problem when they ousted goals on Sunday. I mean, because I did every goals on Sunday from the start to the actual finish.
Yeah.
With the Cammy, and he's like just that Sunday morning just talking about what happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
We just.
I loved goals.
And then we used to go. I mean, everybody I knew everybody football used to love, like, watching goals on Sunday at 10 o'clock, like going through the games and having a chat about it. And he used to get some great guests on.
Mm.
He never struggled for guests, Cammy. Never struggled for managers.
Oh, goals on Sunday was a perfect time for guests as well, because on Soccer AM it's Saturday, it's game day.
Yeah.
But on Sunday you could get the big guns on, goals on Sunday. It was a great programme, man.
I was on Soccer AM.
Oh, yeah? Go on then.
When I was 17, I was a soccerette. Do you remember those days? Yes. Obviously, a very different time.
You've got some past you then, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I found it. Funny enough, I think I mentioned you were coming on, and somebody tweeted me a picture of me and Helen together when I was a soccerette. I'll show you after the show.
Yeah, I've got
17.
to say that.
Yes.
17.
Yes.
No, honestly, the show, it was amazing. It was amazing. And then when we all got sat in the room and got told, that's it. It was a bit like, wow. I mean, I was lucky because I preempted that, this could, nothing goes on forever, does it?
No, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? So
that's true. Yeah.
We started Golf Life, so we were lucky, but it was just to hear that, I've been there since I was 16. I'm 40 now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I was like, wow.
Did they utilise anybody else in another area, or did you all just go?
Well, I was staying, but I only wanted to do part-time. I said, I'll stay and do I want to do long-form interviews because that's what I love doing.
Yeah.
When I come to see you at Leeds.
So
I come to see you at Leeds.
So
and
they
I spoke
didn't see
to you.
the benefit of how good you are to doing that, like you mean?
Well, no, they wanted me to stay.
Yeah.
They wanted me to stay, but I only wanted to do 2 days. But then something happened with HR, and they said, but you've got to do this thing as well a week. So I said, I don't want to do that. So they just said, well, you're going to have to.
What, that goddamn HR again, eh? What's
that
it paying HR?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bloody HR.
Could be the death of football. HR. You know that?
Basically, HR said, you can't do what you're doing with him because he's got to take that or that. So I said, I'll take redundancy and I'll leave. But long form interviews is because when I come and see people like you, Sam, I come all the way to Leeds. I want to sit there for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And have a real good chat or a tour of the training ground or something like that. And that's what I wanted to do at Sky. Well, that's what we do with golf anyway, but it's on a golf course. But with Soccer AM, it was like, you're seeing Big Sam. I was like, okay, well, I want to ask him this.
One question only.
And do a rap as well. But no, I wanted to do this. But I only speak for 8 minutes because I know the piece is 5.5. So I'm like, I just want to speak for longer. So that's what I was going to do at Sky if I stayed, but I didn't. So.
But you have Golf Life, and it's thriving on YouTube.
Come on.
Yeah, Golf Life.
Tell us about it. Like, so have you always liked golf? How did it come about?
Golf, I fell in love with when I admitted I'm an alcoholic. So as soon as I had the balls to walk, I knew for years I had a problem with alcohol. So I was like, right, enough's enough. This is getting ridiculous.
Wow.
I'm really hurting people, girlfriends, my mum. My dad had died, and I was being selfish. So I was like, right. So one day I said, that's it. I'm stopping. So touch wood, I haven't drunk since.
Did you do the 12 steps?
No, I didn't.
Did you not?
Do you know what?
You were good enough not to do the 12 steps, were you?
I went to one AA meeting.
Wow.
And it wasn't for me.
Wow.
And I respect AA. They help millions of people across the world. It just wasn't for me. The one thing I did take from that AA meeting was the guest speaker. They have a guest speaker who comes in, and so he got up and was like, "Hi, I'm so and so, and this is my story." Yeah. And that really helped because I could relate. He was like, "I had a really good job. I had an amazing wife, 2 children." He said, "I've fucked it all because of alcohol." And things he was saying, I was like,
I'll do that.
I'll do that.
I'll do that.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Basically, alcohol took over my life. So I was planning my life around alcohol. So once I said, enough's enough, stop being a selfish prick, give up, I was like, what can I do to see my mates and basically not get pissed? So my brother was a golfer, and I used to play with him. I go, this is boring. Let's go down the pub after like 7 or 8 holes.
Yeah.
Now I can play 36. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I started doing that. And because of my background with Soccer AM, I know quite a lot of footballers who, footballers love golf. Managers love golf. So we were like, Andrew's like, well, let's sort of combine it. So we did. And it's the best thing I've ever done.
So can you sit in a pub now and stand in a pub when all your mates are drinking? And you can and drink like lime and soda or what? So that's
the only problem I have is if that's beer, or it would have been vodka in my case. If I touch one bit of that,
you're knackered.
I'm gone for 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
and it will get to a point.
Did you have a relapse as you started?
Never.
No. Well, you are,
because
that's the best story I've ever heard. That
just because it all happened. I was up here actually. I was in Manchester. I did a job up here, and I remember getting up in the morning, raiding the minibar. I remember going to Wetherspoons. I think I don't know if it's still here, but is there a 24-hour one here?
I'm not sure actually.
Near the station.
Right, Piccadilly's got a big one, yeah.
So that's where I went. I remember going in there, and the next thing I knew, I was in my mum's house in the spare room in Cobham.
You don't know how you got there?
I don't remember anything. And I've woken up still battered. I thought it was in Manchester. I was like, this is happening again. So I walked downstairs, and my mum's just there in tears. And I just looked, and I just saw. I was like, she's just lost her husband. Do you know what I mean? My dad. And I'm carrying on like this. And she's like, and I felt so ashamed of myself. I was like, just looked at her. I was like, I said, that's it for me now. She's like, she said, you said this before. And I was like, I promise you, that is it now. She said, look, I had to drag you down the station in the middle of the day, people just looking at you. And I was like, I promise you. She was like, oh yeah, whatever. She wasn't saying whatever. She was like, you've just got to. So that was it. That was the day. And I hadn't had a sip since. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Story.
No. So
what a story, yeah.
You brought golf into your life.
Yeah, so golf's my new addiction. Golf's my new addiction. So no, I absolutely.
What a great addiction to have.
Exactly. But it's amazing because I love golf. I'm always chasing. That's my problem. I'm an addictive personality, so I'm always chasing the high. So with golf, obviously, there's highs, lows.
The golf, yeah.
So, but I get to do what I love, like interview people, not sat in a room, like at a training ground, which I love. but you can just be out, in the sun, mucking around, having a game of golf.
Or not in the sun?
Well, in the rain, I like playing in the rain as well. But do you know what I mean? It's like one hole you can talk about, Big Sam, what were you like as a child, like growing up football, and then the next thing about your time at Bolton, and you can get a real nice piece.
Yeah.
And people get to see the real person, not them in like football mode. Do you know what I mean? That's what I always tried to do with Soccer AM.
Yes.
I didn't go like
relaxing,
big game of the weekend.
right,
I wanted to know about, having a laugh, tactics. What's the person actually like?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite guest you've had?
For me, I'm biased. Gianfranco Zola.
Oh,
He's my hero. I love him.
what? When you asked him to come on your YouTube channel, and he said yes, how was that?
I fainted. It was the most amazing thing. Like, I used to get to Chelsea early to watch him warm up because he used to do this mad thing. Yeah, he used to, like, before you'd get out there and everyone was doing like the passes, he'd boot the ball as high as he could, and it would just boom, control it on the full, and then boot it again, high as he could, boom, control it. So I used to go in the garden and do that. So he was like, when I had my heart problems as well, he was on. He phoned me up. I'm like, Gianfranco Zola's like. I was like, oh my God, it was amazing. So when I was walking down the fairway with him, I was just like, I just wanted to cuddle him the whole time. I was just like, every shot I hit, I was like, Gianfranco's amazing. But no, John Terry's been on. We're a massive Chelsea family, so I'd say my dream guest was Gianfranco Zola.
Oh, unbelievable!
But he's such a nice man. Yeah, you must have come across him loads.
Oh yeah, not as often as that, but everybody tells me what a nice guy he is. Like, I mean, and obviously still lives in this country then.
Yeah, he does to and from.
Still got to play.
Because his son's a proper golfer. His son's brilliant as well. So hopefully we're going to have a doubles match soon.
How good are you then?
I should be better. Honestly, I should be better.
I want to know about your heart condition. What was that then?
I had a heart attack.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was that down to the drink or?
No, bizarrely not. I only do in big illnesses. Alcoholism.
Yeah.
I don't do headaches.
No.
No. So yeah, I had a heart attack. I had a big hole in my heart. But if I was still drinking, I would have died on the spot. So I was lucky I did give up drinking. So yeah, I had a heart attack. That was.
So were you born with the hole in your heart then?
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah?
We're all born with holes in our hearts, but they cover themselves.
In the end, yeah.
Eventually, mine didn't. So when I gave up drinking, I was like, well, where do I get my high from? So I started doing gym because you get the endorphins, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I was doing that, so I get the natural high.
So you were exercising too much, which caused the heart attack?
Not really too much, but I was doing 5K. Not like Mo Farah. I wasn't breaking any records, but I was doing it, and I was buzzing, da da da. But all of a sudden, I couldn't get above 1 kilometre. My legs would sort of seize up. So being a man,
you never said anything.
Never said anything. Men, we need to talk more, big time. So I was like, all right, I'll just go on the bike. So I did 10K on the bike. I was like, oh, that's weird. I can't do that. So I played football one Sunday morning, and it felt like I was hungover, like headache. I was like blurred vision. And I hadn't had a drink for 2 years, and I was like, this is weird. So I was on the way back. I was like, oh, I've got indigestion now. Oh. So ironically, I was in the kitchen trying to burp out a heart attack. So yeah, I was having a heart attack. So I was like, oh, God, this is weird. And I was supposed to go. I remember it was Chelsea Newcastle on a Sunday afternoon. I was like, I probably won't go. I feel a bit of rank, so I'm just going to watch it at home. It's on Sky. And I was like, flipping out. This indigestion's proper hurting. So I was like, I'm not sure if it is indigestion. And then I had a shower.
Ooh.
And then that
could have been even worse with hot temperature.
It weren't great. It weren't great. To put it politely, the old boy shrunk. Proper. I'm trying to put it politely. But it's when you have a hot shower, it's supposed to go not shrink, but I'm trying to be But anyway, and I was like, that's not right. Then the left arm, boom, went. I was like, oh, fuck, this ain't indigestion.
You were a bit slow, weren't you?
Huh?
You were a bit slow.
Yeah.
With all those those warning signs.
Yeah, but I thought it was indigestion. But then when that was, I wasn't trying to say that to be funny, by the way, about my private parts.
Yeah.
That was the first time I was like, what's going on here? But they tell you what the body does when you're having a heart attack. This is what the doctors say, is they take away the things that you don't need at that point.
Oh, wow.
It's really clever, apparently. So that's why my left arm
Keep the heart going.
Yeah.
Did you got your phone and you got a...
So, yeah, managed to text my mum. Don't know why I text. Because that's it, I collapsed. So I could get up the phone. Please come round now. I'm struggling. She lives 3 rows down. Luckily, she had the phone in her hand. She's come round. The ambulance has come. And, literally, I had like minutes. So I was lucky.
Have you got an Apple Watch?
Huh? I have now.
Good. Because that would have gone off and
Yeah.
called the ambulance straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it
Clever.
says, are you in distress? It rings director.
Yeah.
So good job your mum got hold of it then.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was the whole, that day I was very, very lucky because they were like, you literally didn't have long. Because it was like, I was on the bed just going, boom, 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 boom. It was rank. But lucky.
And
But to answer your question, no, I'm still not very good at golf.
That's an amazing story. You've got some stories, eh?
Yeah.
are you any good at golf?
Oh, I enjoy golf only as a pure amateur that doesn't bother about the score.
Please come on Golf Life.
Doesn't bother
okay.
about...
Let's look this up.
You come on as well. We'll do a collab. We'll do a collab.
Never played.
I don't bother about the score. I like to get a couple of holes where hopefully I can get at least a par even in there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's warm.
That's what it's about.
It has to be sunny.
Yeah.
Next year for Sam.
In the summer. We'll go abroad and do your one.
The time I play now is more charity games. Like, I mean, it's Sir Alex's charity do, and there's a few other charity golf days that I participate in. And I keep saying to myself, rather than walking, I should be playing far more golf than I'm doing. Like, I mean, because it's much more entertaining than boring walking. Mm-hmm. You know, these boring 10,000 steps scenario. I mean,
that's such a good quote.
Look at me.
Get it on a t-shirt.
Get out and play golf, you stupid man. Like, I mean, and go and walk around the golf course. You walk around the golf course, it's 18,000 steps.
Golf is so much more better than this boring walking.
It's true there.
Get that slapped on a
right,
t-shirt.
Like, I mean. So I should get out more than I do. Like, I mean, but because I really enjoy it.
It's great,
and I've always really enjoyed it. Like, I mean, but you know,
it's such a good game.
So Big Sam and Tubes, a collab. Onto Golf Live, and then a charity T-shirt with Sam's quote on.
Exactly.
And I love the fact as well that you both are Tubes and Big Sam. You're both so well known by your nicknames. When you say, I tend to just describe you as Big Sam, and everybody knows who Big Sam is. You were telling us before, but do share again, please, so that everybody knows. Where did Tubes come from?
Yeah, it's a bizarre story. Every time I tell people, they go like, they look at, and then by the time I finish, they go, oh. So basically, there was a guy called Rocket.
I remember Rocket.
Okay, yeah,
yep.
He was called Rocket because he had a pointed head. But he wasn't named at Soccer. Apparently, he was called Rocket from a young child. So he used to do a character every Saturday on the show where you bring the balls out. You know, when the fans of the week would try and get the ball through the hole and stuff like that. So I was on that stage of just going in, making teas, and I'm making a couple of, but I'd never wanted to be on TV because I was and still am quite a shy person. So I was like, me go on TV? Absolutely not. So they put me on a couple of times doing little, sort of just coming on and holding stuff. And then Rocket went on holiday, and back in the day at Socran, that was a no-no. You don't go on holiday during the season. So I remember I was working in the sports library, and I got a call, and it was Tim Lovejoy. He said, "Can you come upstairs quick?" I was like, "Yeah." So I remember walking into the office. It was Tim, Fenners, Sheephead, all the old, all the old people. Northern boys love gravy. I'm massive Bolton fan.
Northerners love gravy.
And Tim was like, he goes, Rocket's going on holiday. I was like, oh, is he? They were like, yeah, he is. He's like, so he can't be. I think he was Heidi at the time. He'd come out in a dress. The whole thing's a bit weird. He'd come out in a dress and pigtails. It was like, he was like, so we've got a character for you. I went, okay, yeah. He went, you're going to be a Peter the Test Tube baby. I went, I'm going to be what? Sorry. He said, you're going to be Peter the Test Tube baby. I went, okay. I was like, well, what's that then? And he went, well, basically, you just got to wear a nappy. I was like, fucking hell, really? Okay. But if you do that now, you get arrested. People like all that weird stuff. And I was like, okay. He's like, wear a nappy, have a can of lager. Bizarrely turned out to be an alcoholic.
Not a dummy as well. You didn't have a dummy as well, did you?
No, I did.
Did you?
I had a dummy around me.
Yeah.
I was like, I said, why? Like, why? He was like, oh, it's a band from the 70s, Peter and the Test Tube Babies. I'd never heard of them.
Was it really?
Apparently so.
I'd never heard of them, me.
Peter and the Test Tube Babies.
They can't have been that popular.
I don't think they were. But
No.
Tim and
the
Warps.
70s. Me.
I think it was just good. My name was Peter. They've gone, Test Tube, but get him in a nappy. So I was like, all right. I said, well, he's back. Rocket's back from holiday. So I said, imagine when I went home, Mum, I'm going to be on telly tomorrow. She's like, oh, son, brilliant. What are you going to do? I'm going to be wearing a nappy. Cool.
Oh, God.
Nice one,
I'm not
son.
bother watching then. I won't record that one.
Nice one. I'll tell the family.
Telly 20 years ago.
Like, it was so they went, I said, okay, what do I have to do? They went, you just bring the balls out and we're going to play the conga music. And I was like, right, okay. So anyway, I did it. And I came out, opened the beer, chucked it all over me, kicked the can over the fence, chucked the balls, did a dance to a conga music, and everyone loved it. So I was like, oh God, it was free. It was November as well, I think it was. And my nipples were like rock hard. I was freezing. I was like, oh, what? But everyone was like, what is this? This is mad. So then Rocket got back from skiing, and then we had a live vote. Do you want to keep Heidi or Peter the Test Tube Baby? I got voted to stay, so I was the bloke in the nappy every week. So Peter the Test Tube Baby got shortened to Tubes, and that's the story.
I love that story.
And here I am now.
I love that story. Is it the best nickname in football?
No. One size fits all. That's the one for me. Fits all.
Okay.
One size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That for me, that's the best nickname.
Can you think of any, Sam?
Well, they're hard to know, but I mean, like, it's hard to understand some of them. Like, Kevin Nolan was Nobby. Nobody really know Nobby Nolan. Like, yeah. I mean, it always answered to Nobby. Like, I mean, Ricardo Gardner, who came from Jamaica when he was a kid, had always been known as Bibby. And he's Bibby Gardner, so you see him on his Instagram like it's Bibby's, his big mates with Usain Bolt. I mean, the big mates, the pair of them. Like, I mean, so. But like, as it comes from others, like, this wasn't me, or this was way back when Yuri Yokayev joined us. People used to say he's the snake because you never know when he's going to strike. You know what I mean? So that was like that came from France or wherever he was, because obviously he was a World Cup winner, like, I mean. So, there's a few, like, I mean.
What a player he was.
Yeah. The nicknames. Well, there's probably a lot more I know, but I can't recall too many.
But you can't repeat them.
JJ Kocher, so they named him twice.
They named him twice.
Yeah, I love that.
And they made T-shirts of that at Bolton and sold thousands.
Of course.
You and him dancing was one of the best footballing moments I've seen. It was unbelievable. Do you still pull that out now and again?
Still out.
In the front room.
We had a charity match at Wanderers last year, and we pulled it out. JJ came up and played in it, like, I mean, because, one of the players' mums had a serious illness and she needed treatment in America, I think, and he needed to raise 250 grand. It was a great day. There's like Sunday, there's sort of 13,000 turned out.
Oh, nice.
And then because JJ came and Ivan Campo and Jussi and Gunny Bergson and all the Wanderers fans were brilliant to turn out for that day. Like, I mean,
I love stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
so
class.
it was a great day. But yeah. JJ.
Right, we always finish the podcast with a not so quick fire question section. So answer it as you please. We do call it quick fire, but I've just given up, to be honest. Right. Two of Sam's former clubs, Blackburn and Preston, are up against each other on Friday night. Who has a better chance of promotion this season, Blackburn or Preston?
Well, the short answer is might be Preston for the first time. But for a long time, they were nearly there. They got in the playoffs about 4 years, 3 years out of 4 after Moisey, then after Moisey, and they never quite made it. But this time they might get there, but it'd be via the playoffs.
Okay.
I'll go with Big Sam. He knows his football.
Will Poch win a Premier League title as Chelsea manager?
No.
Ooh.
Oh, it's straight in a no. Oh.
It's a big question, that.
Mm-hmm.
If he's given time, yes.
How much time?
Well, I don't know what Todd Bowley's plans are with Chelsea. I don't really understand the business model, if I'm perfectly honest. The fact that we've spent $1 billion and we still don't have a centre forward. We buy loads of wingers. Graham Potter was his man. Then he wasn't his man. He got rid of Thomas Tuchel, who won us the Champions League.
Thomas Tuchel got rid of himself.
What do you mean?
You know, this is press conferences.
Go on.
Oh, his press conferences was criticising the club that much, he's saying.
Yeah, because of Todd Bowley, the way he was running it.
Correct then.
Yeah.
So get rid of me and pay me up.
Well, possibly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did
But
exactly,
he was gutted. He was
exactly like
gutted.
Antonio Conte did. Manipulated it.
I don't know.
Oh, he did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think...
Clever.
Conte.
He was much,
was,
no, but he was much cleverer than Conte at it.
Conte might as well have just said,
Yeah, well, he-
sack me.
Conte did. Yeah. Well, what Conte said was all of it was right, though.
Yeah.
Everything was 100% right. So that what he was saying was 100% right, but it still got him the sack.
I remember seeing Thomas Tuchel before a ball had even been kicked in the Premier League. It was the first interview of Soccer AM. So it was obviously the week building up to the first game of the Premier League when Todd Bowley, and I looked over and he's like unshaven, dishevelled. I was like, "You all right?" And he's like, he just looked fume-boat. I was like, this ain't going to work, whatever's going on here. So the answer for the not so quick fire
man.
is yes.
Okay, we've got a no and a yes. I like that. Okay, best player that you've ever interviewed?
Oh. Wow.
Oh, good one.
That's be a Chelsea player. Come
Yeah,
on.
but
But I don't want
He's got stars in his eyes
I
when
don't
it's
want
Chelsea
to. I don't
players.
want to keep saying Chelsea players.
That's all right.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it was one question only back in the day.
Was it?
And I said, "Who is the best player ever in the world?" He simply said, "Me."
Of course he did.
But I count that as an interview, right?
100%. You've
Yeah.
interviewed Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. So there we go.
Right, I've got 2 questions left.
Great answer.
Sam, as always, I just need to double check with you. Currently, if a Premier League job came up, or indeed a Championship job came up, are you still looking to get back in? Would you?
Would I?
Do you want to?
Depends who
Are
it
you
is.
allowed? Is your wife going to let you?
Be allowed now, I think. I think it depends who it is. And that sounds arrogant, maybe, or sounds big-headed. Who knows what it sounds like. But I am in a position to make sure if I go to another club, I can be successful.
So for the right opportunity, you would. Would you ever go in the Championship?
It depends who it is. Again, I mean, there's some things that I ask for now, which would perhaps owners would not want to be a part of in terms of demand. And I'm not talking financially. I'm talking about what I know. I know what is needed. I know what's needed in the Championship if you want to get there. I know what's needed in the Premier League if you want to get out of trouble. I know what's needed if you want to get in the Premier League. Into the Champions League, and
I love stuff like this.
you know
Can I ask what you asked for?
what I ask for
Yeah.
is their support, unfoundedly their support
Yeah.
and commitment to the cause, and listen to what I have to say when I've made the assessment of the team and the squad. and to commit to that. And now tell me what the budget is.
I love that answer, and I love that you are always in interviewer mode as well. I love that. You could tell that it just comes naturally, and you're like inquisitive, like straight onto it. Yes, you'll have to come back. You'll have to come back another time as well. Right, last question: who wins the golf match, Sam or Tubes?
Sam.
Tubes.
And this is why we need to make that happen very much. Thank you so much for coming on and for being so honest and for sharing your story. And it was so fascinating.
Great
Thank
story.
you so much. Thank you so much.
Glad
Cheers.
you're well, pal.
Thanks so
Good
much.
to see you.
And thank you, Sam.
And you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you are back. And
Me too.
I hope that phone doesn't ring for me, but as always, for you.
Well, you know how happy I'm doing this. We wait and see.
Yes.
It might never ring. Who knows?
It will. We all know it will. Okay, February that I'm expecting, Sam. That's when I'll get really nervous. Really nervous. The whole of February is going to be a nervous time on this show. Thank you for watching and listening to another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by William Hill.